The night before the girl left, she approached the boy and unexpectedly invited him to sleep together. The boy was instantly confused. Facing the girl's forward suggestion, the innocent boy quickly covered his ears. They chose to spend their last day as teenagers together at a hotel. Hearing that the boy was still a virgin, the girl slowly moved closer, intending to give him her first time. While the boy hesitated, the girl took the initiative to undress, determined to spend a memorable night together. However, they broke up on their first day as 20-year-olds. Kang-hee, a mixed-race girl born in a motel, made a shocking decision to leave her village on her 20th birthday and head to Seoul alone. She resolutely left her childhood sweetheart, Yeon-soo, and her family. She left behind two meaningful phrases: "Don't diet," and "Don't take off your glasses in front of others." And then she left without looking back. Realizing the girl he liked was moving away, Yeon-soo clumsily followed the car until it disappeared into the winter snow. A decade passed since their separation. Yeon-soo, despite being left behind, did not keep his promise. In the third year after her departure, he began his own journey of losing weight, and over the next 10 years, he transformed himself completely, even removing his glasses that had once hidden his true face. Besides his daily work as a veterinarian, whenever Yeon-soo had free time, he would travel to Seoul. He told the villagers it was to meet a marriage prospect, but only his close friends knew that Yeon-soo's frequent trips to Seoul were actually in hopes of a chance encounter with Kang-hee in the vast crowd. Despite his doubts that Kang-hee might not recognize him if they met again, Yeon-soo never gave up the idea. So, when Kang-hee appeared before him, he recognized her almost instantly. However, for some reason, he hesitated to approach her. It wasn't until a friend nudged him that Yeon-soo realized and tried to follow her, but it was too late. Kang-hee had already disappeared from his world again. Meanwhile, Kang-hee's life in Seoul wasn't as glamorous as Yeon-soo had hoped. Limited by her background and education, she had spent the last 10 years doing heavy physical labor at construction sites, far from her dream of becoming a designer. One day, after enduring bullying from her supervisor, she decided to quit. Just then, a woman approached her. Mistaking her for a new worker on the site, Kang-hee handed over her protective gear and offered some safety tips. Unbeknownst to her, this act of kindness would quietly change her life's path. The woman was not a new worker, but a director at a construction company. She had come after hearing that Kang-hee was a talented designer and wanted to invite her to try working at her company. Initially, Kang-hee refused the director's offer, believing that companies only valued degrees, which she did not possess. However, Director Hwang had done her homework on Kang-hee and hoped she would join her company to shine again as an interior designer. Kang-hee decided to try again. When she went for the interviewer rejected her because she was not from a prestigious school. At that moment, Director Hwang offered a high-value personal commission and suggested giving a performance bonus to the head of the department if he accepted Kang-hee as the designer for the project. Kang-hee did not disappoint Director Hwang. Before the department head had met the actual clients and assumed he understood their needs, Kang-hee insisted on meeting the newlywed couple living there. They agreed to come in 2 hours, but the department head had to leave for other matters. After he left, Kang-hee faced harassment from the clients. She calmly asked if they had slept well, surprising them with her boldness. Later, Kang-hee had a deep conversation with the lady of the house about interior design styles. The wealthy woman admitted to having diverse hobbies and liking a wide range of styles. Kang-hee suggested she summarize with a few key words. After thinking, the woman expressed a desire for her home to be lively yet fun. She dreamed of having her own comic book room, a space to immerse herself in comics without concern for others' opinions. Inspired, Kang-hee proposed dividing the room into a mezzanine, with the upper level as the lady's private secret space to enjoy comics, and the lower level as a fun area to entertain friends. The client was very satisfied. Back at the studio, Kang-hee immediately started on the intense design work, quickly developing a perfect design plan. However, when Kang-hee eagerly presented her proposal to the department head, he rejected it. He openly admitted his biases, believing that those with outstanding education, background, and appearance are superior. In his view, Ji Kang-hee lacked a prestigious degree, came from an ordinary family, had a plain appearance, and wore unattractive smoky makeup daily. Ji Kang-hee tried to argue that the client might like her proposal, but the department head insisted she didn't understand the client's needs. He revealed that the apartment was being furnished by the client as an unlimited budget wedding gift for a friend. He argued that someone from a lower social standing like Ji Kang-hee could not comprehend the thoughts and lifestyles of the wealthy. Subsequently, the department head decided to fire Ji Kang-hee. Director Huang, who had brought Ji Kang-hee into the company, tried to intervene but was mocked by the department head. At that moment, Ji Kang-hee overheard their conversation, stormed into the office and furiously berated the department head. She accused him of plagiarism, stealing team members' designs, and lacking taste and integrity. After venting her anger, Ji Kang-hee resigned and left. On her way home, snowflakes began to fall. Ji Kang-hee's thoughts drifted back to her childhood, recalling the times she and Cheon-yeon-soo enjoyed ice cream in the snow. Little Kang-hee told little Cheon-yeon-soo that eating 10 bites of the first snow would lead to marrying one's first love. Little Yeon-soo took this seriously, his greatest dream being to marry Kang-hee. Unbeknownst to both Ji Kang-hee and Cheon-yeon-soo, at that very moment they passed by each other, missing a chance for reunion. Soon after, bad news spread through the village. Cheon-yeon-soo's grandfather had passed away. The villagers speculated that although Ji Kang-hee was not his biological granddaughter, she was his favorite. They wondered if she would return to the village. Amid these hopes, Ji Kang-hee, who had been away for 10 years, finally came back. Seeing his first love return, Cheon-yeon-soo was overwhelmed with emotion and rushed to embrace Ji Kang-hee tightly. However, Ji Kang-hee looked confused, not recognizing who he was until she heard Cheon-yeon-soo's familiar voice and realized that the chubby boy from her childhood had transformed into a handsome man. Ji Kang-hee quickly left without catching up with Cheon-yeon-soo or greeting old friends. Relatives and neighbors gossiped about her, mocking them as the wimpy Motel family. Ji Kang-hee grew up in a motel run by her father, where she was bullied by a village bully who ridiculed her from childhood and continued into adulthood. This time she chose not to remain silent, but retaliated boldly by dumping a bowl of noodles on the bully's head. After her bold comeback, Ji Kang-hee walked away, but the bully, relentless, threw a bottle at her. Fortunately, Cheon-yeon-soo appeared in time to protect her. The once timid and chubby boy had now become strong and fiercely beat up the bully. Cheon-yeon-soo asked his friends to escort Ji Kang-hee away while he stayed behind to handle the situation. Afterwards, Ji Kang-hee returned to her rental apartment in Seoul. She had hoped to succeed in the big city, but life proved tougher than expected. She achieved nothing and had just been fired by her boss. However, that evening, Ji Kang-hee unexpectedly received a call from Gyum Seok-kyung, the owner of a villa. She then remembered that the previous night, after drinking heavily, she had gone to the balcony and vented her frustrations to Gyum Seok-kyung. Intrigued by her, Gyum Seok-kyung, a third-generation wealthy individual who had never met such an interesting girl before, asked why she had drunk so much. Ji Kang-hee explained she didn't want to have any regrets. Recalling the absurdity of the previous night, Ji Kang-hee remembered how Gyum Seok-kyung had offered a high price for her design, but she firmly declined. She told him that she had already received more than she had anticipated, her professional pride as a designer. Gyum Seok-kyung was deeply impressed, and her friends now saw Ji Kang-hee in a new light, inviting her to their wedding and giving her an invitation. Although still financially poor, Ji Kang-hee felt rich and fulfilled inside. Soon, it was Christmas, which coincided with her friend's wedding and her own birthday. At the wedding, Director Huang curiously asked Ji Kang-hee why she had not charged a design fee, especially since Gyum Seok-kyung was very wealthy. However, Ji Kang-hee stood by her principles. Unexpectedly, Director Huang also revealed that she had resigned from the original design company and invited Ji Kang-hee to join her new firm. After the wedding, Ji Kang-hee suddenly received a call from Cheon-yeon-soo. When she heard a woman's voice on the other end, she hung up without hesitation. She then received a call from her father. Every year on her birthday, her father would come to Seoul to celebrate with her. To handle her father, Ji Kang-hee reluctantly came up with an idea. She hoped Gyum Seok-kyung would help her stage a play. Gyum Seok-kyung readily agreed. When they entered the hotel room arm in arm, they were unexpectedly met by Cheon-yeon-soo. Kang-hee was instantly at a loss, but Seok-kyung remained composed, deliberately embracing Kang-hee and declaring that he would take responsibility for her in the future. Cheon-yeon-soo dressed up in a hotel to meet his first love, who had disappeared for 10 years, only to see Kang-hee with another man. Kang-hee, who brought a man just to deceive her father, was shocked to encounter her first love and nervously claimed she entered the wrong room, blaming her father. This deepened Cheon-yeon-soo's pain, who had waited 10 years and still remembered their night together as if it was yesterday. He had promised to wait for her. Now, seeing her with someone else, he felt no reason to wait any longer. However, as he was leaving, he imagined Kang-hee embracing him at the door. But in reality, she just walked past him indifferently. Both loved each other, but Kang-hee endured rumors for 20 years about her mother and her mixed-race heritage, which forced her to leave the village and cut ties with her past, including Cheon-yeon-soo. Yet, she still loved her childhood sweetheart, and Cheon-yeon-soo could not forget her, keeping a drink she gave him 10 years ago unopened. He even brought her a Christmas gift. Kang-hee, surprised by his unchanged affection after 10 years and his lack of other relationships, listened as Cheon-yeon-soo explained he had been waiting for her, loving only her all his life. Overwhelmed, Kang-hee momentarily couldn't speak, using the excuse of putting on a necklace to hide her excitement. Despite her initial calm, Cheon-yeon-soo's passion and heartfelt expressions warmed the room until his mother unexpectedly called at a critical moment. When Kang-hee heard Cheon-yeon-soo's mother's voice, she was haunted by nightmares again. Her thoughts returned to the relentless rumors she faced from her villagers over the past 20 years. Thus, when Cheon-yeon-soo returned from the call, Kang-hee expressed her decision to leave. Reminded of why they couldn't be together, Cheon-yeon-soo's mother had also opposed their relationship. Kang-hee slowly removed her necklace and suggested Cheon-yeon-soo give it to a girlfriend in the future. Surprisingly, a single phone call had defeated their love. Cheon-yeon-soo wanted to keep Kang-hee but respected her choice because of his love. Afterward, they lived separately without contact. To survive, Kang-hee reluctantly accepted a project proposed by Seok-kyung, which turned out to be designing a chain of motels. Kang-hee was resistant. She explained that motels were frowned upon because her family owned one, leading to her childhood discrimination. Her peers avoided her, and she questioned her father if motels were bad places. Her father had reassured her that motels were just places for rest, providing guests with comfort. However, Kang-hee felt deceived since childhood, seeing motels as disreputable. Kang-hee initially refused the project, but changed her mind when Seok-kyung offered 50 million as a design fee advance. She began working on it, but encountered a childhood bully during a motel research trip in Seoul. The bully mocked her unabashedly and started spreading rumors that he saw Kang-hee being intimate with a man. Cheon-yeon-soo, in fury, beat up the bully, who then left dejectedly. Kang-hee was baffled to discover that the chain hotel she was designing was located in her hometown. She was adamant about not wanting to return there for the project. Unfortunately, Director Hwang, who intended to do the site survey himself, was involved in a car accident. Kang-hee had no choice but to step in and lead the project, reluctantly returning to the village with Seok-kyung fully equipped. To her dismay, Seok-kyung took her to the California motel, leaving her father utterly shocked. Seok-kyung quickly introduced her as a key company asset and top designer. Kang-hee explained that her father also ran a motel and knew the industry well. Her father asked where their motel was located, and Seok-kyung hastily clarified that Kang-hee's father had passed away, which confused her father further and embarrassed Kang-hee. Afterwards, Kang-hee presented her design plans to her father, who was nearly moved to tears, recognizing them as the dream hotel they had discussed in her childhood. Kang-hee excused herself to visit the construction site, but encountered another incident on the way. Cheon-yeon-soo was teaching his colleague Yin-lan to drive. Everything was going smoothly until a car appeared ahead, causing a panicked Yin-lan to mistakenly hit the accelerator instead of the brake. Fortunately, they stopped in time, avoiding an accident. Cheon-yeon-soo comforted a stunned Yin-lan by carrying her out of the car. However, people from the car in front also got out, and it turned out they knew each other. Cheon-yeon-soo was holding another woman when he saw Kang-hee, who turned and walked away. Cheon-yeon-soo quickly followed her. Kang-hee asked him not to tell others she had returned, planning to leave quietly after finishing her work. Seok-kyung thought Kang-hee didn't want to come back because of Cheon-yeon-soo. Kang-hee clarified that Cheon-yeon-soo was not her first love, but her redemption, suggesting that her childhood would have been much more miserable without his presence. Kang-hee intended to visit Cheon-yeon-soo at the animal hospital, but unexpectedly ran into his rumored girlfriend, Yin-lan. Yin-lan, enthusiastic, started hosting. Without thinking, Kang-hee asked for chamomile tea, surprising Yin-lan. Cheon-yeon-soo, who doesn't drink tea, had been keeping chamomile because Kang-hee once mentioned she liked it. This small detail had stayed in his mind. Kang-hee noticed that Yin-lan greatly admired Cheon-yeon-soo, seeing him as a trustworthy and reliable man. Facing this rumored girlfriend stirred mixed feelings in Kang-hee, as Cheon-yeon-soo was her first and only love, and now he had someone else in his life. Yin-lan was shocked to see a cat being so affectionate with a visitor for the first time and quickly started filming. Confused, Kang-hee turned and left. Later, Cheon-yeon-soo returned to the clinic and Yin-lan showed him the video. Surprised, he learned that Kang-hee had visited and immediately ran out to find her. Meanwhile, Kang-hee was drowning her sorrows alone, thinking Yin-lan was the perfect girlfriend with no discernible flaws. Yin-lan and Cheon-yeon-soo seemed like a perfect match. Soon, a childhood friend found Kang-hee in a bar, and Cheon-yeon-soo arrived shortly after. Unexpectedly, Kang-hee collapsed onto Cheon-yeon-soo's legs and kept adjusting her position, making it uncomfortable for him. Eventually, Cheon-yeon-soo took Kang-hee back to the motel. Watching his first love, whom he had liked for over a decade, Cheon-yeon-soo remembered when Kang-hee decided to leave their gossip-filled hometown and gave her first time to him, her childhood sweetheart. In a daze, Kang-hee noticed Cheon-yeon-soo and murmured that he hadn't kept his promise and was dating someone else. It turned out Kang-hee had a terrible nightmare where Cheon-yeon-soo carelessly married someone else. At the wedding, she overheard that the bride was after Cheon-yeon-soo's family wealth. Angered, she grabbed the bride's hair, but upon waking, she realized she was pulling her childhood friend's hair instead. Her friend had brought news that Cheon-yeon-soo was soon to marry Yin-lan. Meanwhile, Seok-kyung was searching for Kang-hee and learned from co-workers that several men were looking for her today, possibly her enemies from the village. Seok-kyung rushed to the police station to report this, but the police were unconcerned, informing him that Kang-hee had been taken back to the motel. Worried, Seok-kyung hurried to the California motel. There, Cheon-yeon-soo explained to him that this was Kang-hee's home, and the owner was her father. Seok-kyung, skeptical, stayed outside Kang-hee's room all night. The next morning, Kang-hee was puzzled to see Seok-kyung there. He explained that the motel's owner claimed to be her father, and that the police said it was no big deal, even though the thugs were staying here. Kang-hee cleared up the confusion, and Seok-kyung finally understood the misunderstanding. That day, Kang-hee went alone to her favorite ice cream shop, only to unexpectedly see Cheon-yeon-soo. Soon after, Yin-lan also appeared. Kang-hee, feeling dejected, hid under a counter, listening to their laughter. This scene reminded her of the past when Cheon-yeon-soo would cheer her up with ice cream. Now he was treating another girl to ice cream. Heartbroken, she went to a secluded place to cry. Just then, the man who had upset her approached.